So I was doing my opening preparation and trying to understand how I would introduce our first speaker of the day. Now, we are told as women, has anybody actually heard that we have been told that we are emotional? Fabulous, thank you for sharing that. Now I have a woman that is very good on her right brain, yeah? But what she loves is her left brain. She loves to be able to gather information, to understand the bigger picture, and then translate that into the written word. Now, this is a skill I really do admire. And what I would love you to do for me, ladies, is to give Sharifa a round of applause, and she will be coming on stage just now. And when I spoke to her about how she should be introduced, please come up, my sweetheart. Keep the claps going. And Sharifa will be telling us more about how you can bridge that gap, yes, in the digital age. This is not my topic area. As I say, I suffer from the right brain, but we've got a nice, analytical, research-based writer with us today who's going to share her truth. Please continue to enjoy the rest of the session, and I will come back up in a short while. Okay, there you go. Are you all right? Yes. Can I leave you? Yes. Are you going to be kind to her? Yes.
صباح الخير. تسمعوني? Is my voice clear? Yeah. صباح الخير. Good morning, everyone. Very happy and honored to be here today for the second day of the event. And maybe I will not talk about what I've done or in my career life or how was my childhood, but I'll be just presenting as the presenter of the event, introduced that I'll work on data. I love collecting data, being an academic since 1992, then moving to the government as a Minister of Social Development, in charge of different umbrellas and in charge of different aspects. But my heart and my brain goes all the time for the women empowerment and women issues. So I am the founder of the Omani Women Day. And alhamdulillah, I did things that I'm proud of, which eliminate so many Omani national legislations for the favor of women. Maybe, for example, it's the Omani passport law, that there is no male guardian entitled to give the Omani woman the right to get her passport. So it's been eliminated by the royal decree of His Majesty, Allah yarhamu. And the second one, that women are entitled to get the government land equal to men with different uses of the land. And not to forget that she can get married without the bless of her parents if they are not happy with. So alhamdulillah, what I've done is I feel proud. And when I left the government, I felt like my job and my passion, nothing to feel shame of. But today I'll be speaking about something else, which is the bridging the digital gender gap, which we have really as a global issue. And this gap is not less than the political empowerment, not less than the social empowerment, not less than any empowerments that we have to work hard to achieve for women and to narrow the gap that we have in the whole global world. But even we have it here in the Middle East, which is huge. But maybe, which make us happy, is the education gap. It's very narrow. So we nearly redeemed the gap for the educational between male and female. Okay, this is the title. But before we go to the ranking, I know the gender digital gap, it's a stigma, and everyone agrees with it. It's a phenomenon, and we have to work, as I said, to redeem that gap. When we go to the global ranking, we see Africa have the first gap, which is 23%. The Middle East comes the second, which is still a huge one. And Asia and Pacific, 16.9, Europe, 6.9, which is at the last of the global rank. When it comes to the mobile ownership and the internet usage, this is the data that we have. South Asia is 38% in women mobile ownership and the internet users. And Sub-Sahara is 13. In Middle East and North Africa, it's 8%, which is good so far, but we need to work on it. And the last one is the Latin American Caribbean, which is 5%. So this is give us a clear map how to work to redeem the gap and what we should do as a government, as business, and as a policymaker, and as individuals. Now, in the mobiles ownership and internet, 50% of the world population connected to internet, comparing to 4% in 1995. The difference moves very fast, and the gap redeemed very quick between 1995 and today. But 13% of digital gender gap in internet users in 2016. 250 million women less than men online. And I think this gap needs to be redeemed within 150 years, according to the report. 150 years, we need to redeem the gap. And in mobile owners, 200 million women less than men own mobiles. So mobile ownership among women is only 14%. And in South Asia, women are less than men to own a mobile, which is 20%, 28%, and 58% less to use mobile internet. This is global, yes. Yeah. Now we have to see and look deeply into the situation that we have at the moment. In developing countries, limited access provided to women, mainly in Africa, Sahara, and Asian rural areas. And in developed countries, women still confronted with digital gender gap, mainly in IT jobs, communication, high level of administrations, and academic sectors. In the Arab countries, of course, we have achieved major progress in IT and communication between 2002 and 2008. But when it comes to UAE and Bahrain, they are the top list of Arab countries and the rest of GCC are the second category. This is in the MENA region. So UAE and Bahrain has achieved great job to redeem the gender gap in digital sector. And the rest of Arab countries lag behind to the third and the fourth category, which explain the huge gap between Middle East and the developed countries. So we still need to work on it. Why women? This question, I think everybody knows why women lag in the gender gap, either political gender gap, digital gender gap, social gender gap. So we have really clear idea why women. Of course, because they lack financial abilities in modern digital ownership and discrimination against women. So we know that in education, that women are not pushed by the family or by the country or by the social values or by the tradition to go for the STEM subjects like the science, math, IT. So these prefer to go for men, and girls pushed to go for the social and health specialization in higher education. And girls at the age of 15 are twice less likely to get a job in engineering and science and digital technology and math. The lack of knowledge, of course, and the skill related to technical was one of the main reasons why women are having this digital gender gap. When it comes to the social stereotype, the shame, the aib, that it's not good for women to go for the STEM sector, and it's better for her to go for the social sciences or the health sector, because she will keep moving in the social circle that to serve the patients, serve the students, serve the families, serve the children, serve the husbands. So we keep serving, and that's what gives us the point that why we are behind on the digital gender gap. So girls are 3 times more likely than boys to get job in health sector and social services because of the support of the family, and because she will work in the morning and then she will come back at home to work for the family and for parents. I am myself have kids. I have 3 kids. When I became a minister, my first son was 2 years old. He is now in 2nd year of college. So I keep, as the people and the presenters yesterday, they mentioned how many hats we take on and we put and we take off in a day. It's a huge task between having a job, not only any job, but to be in the high rank post job and to be a mother. But without the support of the family, of the husband, of the kids themselves, that they understand that the mom, the mother, has a lot of work to do outside the house, so we need to support her within the family. So that's a very huge task to do, and to encourage your family to support you from the first place, to be able to keep on and to be within the family, not to feel guilt, not to feel blamed that you abandon your family, but still you can do the best outside and inside. So girls, as I said, is 3 times more likely than boys to get in health sector and social services job. Women have less access to digital technology and internet than men, and that's because of the social stigma. If she stayed online nighttime, she said, oh, of course she's playing with someone. So the trust is missing. The trust of being able to work, even if she is adult and mature and confident, and she has the trust of the family, still the social value blame her or accused her of she is manipulating, she is a bad person, she is, using her time for not good thing. So this is one of the main reasons why we lag behind the digital gender gap, especially in Middle East. Now the internet users in GCC and MENA region. In the Arab countries, we are only 20% of internet users. UAE is the most investing country in the region in terms of digitalization among consumers. So, which is UAE, it's on the top list of the world, not only in the Middle East. The average of consumers, of pocket consumers in UAE is between 70 to 80% of total population of UAE. Huge. So it's the highest rate in computers hacking in the world. It's even before the USA, yes. The high rate of computer hacking among the world, it's #1 UAE, because everyone is carrying their own computers. So they're easy to get hacked. So UAE, Bahrain, and Qatar also achieved higher rate than USA in computers hacking, is 100% to 80%. Middle East and North Africa globally is the 2nd highest in daily YouTube viewers, the average of over 300 million per day. We spend much more time on YouTube. Of course, our kids busy with their own world and they don't know what's going in around them. Now, how to bridge the gender gap in digital for the better economy, at least for the better economy, because that's what we are working on. It's to open online platform to allow women to access and obtain new products, to increase productivity in e-commerce. That's one of the major challenge. That's what we need to work on. It's to open platform for women to be online professionally. So women also need to occupy, this is data, some of the data that women occupy in Chinese trading group Alibaba, for instance, 9% out of 30% as shareholders. This is need to be increased. And women working in Uber service increases in USA 14%, more than normal taxis, which is 8%. So this is an example that we need to apply some of these services for women globally and in Middle East. And women in Asia occupy 6% in corporate boardrooms average. The other things that we need to work on is to provide mobile internet and higher speed and lower cost computing, so everyone can be able to connect and to communicate. And what we need is safety and security concerns. So we can't be online if there is no safety and security standard, high standard. Providing also high level of skills for women. So women working are good in IT. We are good in IT. We are good in knowledge. We are good in marketing and accounting. But men are good in organizing skills. So we have to get the benefit of what we have and work on it and increase the knowledge that we have on this and apply it on the economy. Increase the hours of training skills for women, as their skills are an added value to the labor market. Men get more training hours than women. In society, we need to at least change and work together to change the culture and social stereotype against women and to provide them much better access to information and technology. In business also, we need to have a knowledge of usage information sources keys to generate added value and high-speed network and quality ensure wide information. In education, we need to provide an e-education system through applying modern IT tools and education to cope with the future education as well. Some of the schools now, they're providing the e-book and e-education in different, so the kids, they don't need to carry the books. But we need also to apply this e-education for girls as well. Services and products flow in trades and markets, and the protect intellectual property to bring foreign investments aside with the local investments in producing modern technologies. So these are kind of keys that we need to work on it to bridge the digital gender gap that we have, especially in Middle East. And thank you for your attention. That's the end of my speech.
Fabulous count of your facts and figures. So thank you so much, Sharifa. Really appreciate that. Now, I am desperate to take 3 questions before we allow Sharifa to sit down. So I'm going to label this lady with her hand up because she's desperate to talk. So I'm going to just ask you to stop for one moment, and I'm going to label you as number 1. You are number 1, okay? You knew that anyway. Can I have the second question? Lady number 2, Lena. I've not seen Lena in ages. I'm so glad I remembered her name. Right, so Lena's number 2, and one more question so that we get the mics organized. Is there one more question? Going, gone. And your name is? No, your name is number 3. Okay. So ladies, I do know that we like to talk. We've got 5 minutes for the Q&A. So lady number 1, please address your question, followed by Lena, followed by number 3. Okay, go ahead.
Number 1, that was brilliant. I had an epiphany, particularly tying in your accomplishment of depleting the passport constraints. because I just got it. This is the second passport, or maybe the first. So thank you. I really saw the vitality of this, how vital it is. Here's my question. How much of the gender gap in usage is related to the fact that there are more men in offices and working outside the home where there is internet access versus the home where often there is not? I'm interested to know if you have any statistics on the gap, not between male and female, but between home and office, and whether part of the problem is they simply don't have access at home.
To go on specific data on this one, that maybe every person in this hall, and even every person in their corporate, then they are sure that men will work late, and when they come back home, they will be like maybe shut off of all the brain work. Women will keep thinking, even when she is online, she's still with many tasks that she has to do at the same time. So that's affect her work, that she can do it perfectly, but her brain, it's still packed with many tasks that she has to finish.
What I'm asking actually is how much of the gender gap is because there are more women at home and there is not internet access at home.
I need to go back to the data I've got. Yes, I didn't focus on because I was thinking of what we should do. But there are so many reports, international reports, shedding lights on how many or how big is the gap in working hours or in the training for the working hours for women and male.
Hi, my name is Lina. I'm from Kluk Toys. We're specialized in education of toys. It's just not a question, it's rather a thought. Why we don't celebrate our gender differences? Women, we know that the strength that women have is undeniable. Just see a woman with a cold and a man with a cold, and you will see it. Maybe in some industries the numbers are not equal because of our normal differences, and why we don't see that, like women, we do have that nurturing nature, and that's why they tend to go to a certain industries or sectors. I think the lawmakers have to, I'm not talking about stereotyping, it's just there are some facts. Identify these strengths and build on them and nurture them. Men are women. I don't find it honestly a bit, okay, and that is nothing that makes us any less. So that's my thought when I was listening to your presentation and the numbers. We are much more stronger on other aspects, and this is, I think, where we need to use that strength and put it to our advantage.
I didn't say we are less than men.
No, we didn't.
Okay, this is one thing. Second thing, I'm proud of being different.
Right.
And we have to be proud of being female because we have so many things that we can do it better than them. We are not less than them. We are not maybe at the same level of what they have, but we are proud of being able to do something much even better and much far from what men do. And this is why we are different. And subhanallah, وَفِي اخْتِلَافِكُمْ رَحْمَةٌ. So when I'm telling you that we need to be in a specific level, especially when it comes to gender equality, or it's from the point of we need to open doors for women to be able to participate in equal rights, in social equality, in education, in healthcare, in everything. So when it comes to serve your nation or your country, you have to be equal because you're taking from the country the same opportunities that men are taking. You're provided education, you're provided health, you provide security, you provide everything. So you have to work to give your country what's been provided for men to be able to serve. But at the end, we are different. Much far distance, we are different. Thank you. The third and the last.
Thank you so much for this presentation. I really did enjoy. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to focus on many little things. It's also many hats. concerning the numbers that you collected, this is talking about global issues, and it's many countries, and you talked about Middle East, Africa, there are too many. And I'm working on researches as well, but normally when we do these kind of researches, we focus on each country because every factor in every country is different than others. So we cannot grab all the facts together, or all numbers or rates together. So for example, for the gender gap, there are many dimensions and criteria and index for gender gap, and it's part of it for education, for health, for others. So concerning education, I think we can solve anything. I totally agree with number 2 concerning the benefits and the strengths and everything, so I'm not going to repeat that, but I'm going to focus on the numbers. If we need really to reduce or shrink this gap, gender gap, there is a gender gap everywhere. But if we need it, I think we need to focus on country by country, and then focus on each style, each country, what can fit in there. And we have also to think which factor that we need to play with first, and I think education is the first factor. Concerning people in countries, in Arab countries, now I'm going to talk about Arab countries. I'm specialized in countries, by the way. So concerning Arab countries, I think people moving now forward for education, and female percentage of going for education is higher than before, and they have equal opportunity to learn. But yes, I definitely agree again with number 2 concerning the jobs. We can fit in some jobs. This doesn't mean that maybe I don't like the other job. This doesn't mean that I cannot do it. Maybe I like or I dislike. Concerning families, yes, it's important to be part of, and I definitely grateful to hear that, what you said concerning your country. So thank you.
First of all, if we are just talking about the gender gap, let's say one point, especially in education and in GCC and in Middle East, we don't have gender gap in education when it comes to higher education. We close the gap in education. This is one thing. My presentation was only focusing on the digital gender gap. The digital gender gap, that's the issue. And when I started, if you remember, I said, we have social empowerment, we have political empowerment, we have different empowerment, but the digital gender gap, it's not less than this. We need to empower women in this digital thing to redeem and to be able to close the gap that it comes. And when I talk about global, just to give you a comprehensive view. And if I'm talking about different countries into details and into data, I will not be able to finish even until a week from today, from yesterday. So that's my major topic when I focused on the, and I want to shed on the level of Arab, GCC, comparing, of course, to the whole world. And where are we? And when it comes to the ranking, we are in the lower, generally on the gender gap. But still, we need to improve it and go a little bit up. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Appreciate all of that hard work that you've put in to sharing your knowledge with us.